Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio, on this 10th day of March. 1 year from today, Ohio voters will be heading to the polls to vote in the Ohio presidential primaries, and it was shaping up that it looked like that for the second presidential election in a row, those Ohio voters would have the option of voting for an Ohioan. Governor John Kasich, of course, winning the state's Republican presidential primary in 2016, and in 2020, regardless of what he did, it appeared that Senator Sherrod Brown would be entering the race for the Democratic nomination. That wasn't until Thursday, when he announced he would not. In January, Sherrod Brown kicked off what was seen by many as a soft launch of a presidential run with his Dignity of Work tour.
When work has dignity, we honor the pensions people earned. When work has dignity, everyone can afford health care and education and housing.
In Dignity of Work, Brown had a message, and when you looked at where the other hopefuls were launching from, he also had a lane that was the Midwest.
That whole idea of trying to bring back the white blue-collar workers, the male workers, the ones that went to Trump. So it really is quite a surprise.
After his announcement, I had a chance to talk with Brown.
What held you back?
We set off on our Dignity of Work listening tour with the intent, in large part, to change the conversation and to get politicians, other Democrats, to talk about the dignity of work, respecting and honoring work. Mission accomplished. We're seeing not just elected officials talking about it. We're seeing more and more voters demand more respect.
Is there another candidate out there that you're seeing that is picking up that mantle?
No, we'll see. I'm going to be talking to pretty much every Democratic candidate about getting serious about the dignity of work. And I'll make a prediction, January 20th, 2021, whoever raises his right hand, they will be talking in this inaugural speech about the dignity of work. Count on that.
Would you be interested in being on that podium as a vice president?
No, I don't aspire to that. I love the Senate.
Of course, that is what Brown said last year when asked whether he would consider running for president. Brown and his counterpart, Senator Rob Portman, both very vocal this week following GM's decision to idle the Lordstown plant, the last Chevy Cruze rolling off the line on Wednesday. Senator Portman, for his part, asked about this comment from President Trump last December.
Under my leadership, from a national standpoint, Ohio is going to replace those jobs like in 2 minutes.
I venture to guess you don't see it that way.
Well, certainly not for that valley. There's no replacement because there's no employer that pays those kind of wages and has those kind of benefits that's large. So it's impossible to replace that particular plant. This would be the first time in almost 100 years that General Motors was not assembling vehicles in Ohio. Think about that. So yeah, They have other plants in Ohio. They make transmissions in Ohio. They do some stamping in Ohio. But this would be the first time we don't have an assembly plant in the second biggest auto state in the country.
Now, the city that can relate to what Lordstown is going through is the city of Moraine. It's just outside of Dayton, and they had a GM plant there that for nearly 3 decades pumped out trucks and SUVs. And in 2008, they got the news that Lordstown got. The run was coming to an end. The Oscar-nominated documentary The Last Truck chronicled the 2008 closing of the GM assembly plant in Moraine, Ohio, and the hope of workers then is one shared by Lordstown workers today.
Deep in my heart, I think we're going to get another product.
But with the national economy plunging deep into recession and GM into bankruptcy, it wasn't to be. The impact on Moraine was hard.
We probably lost about 45 to 50% of our annual revenue.
The city's goal, at very least, was to save the buildings that in total were larger than the Pentagon.
At the time, scrap prices were high, so there was some value to maybe come in, buy it low, scrap everything out, and make some money off of it.
It would sit empty for several years. Then in 2012, Chinese auto glass manufacturer Fuyao began looking to open a plant in America closer to its clients. They were looking to build new, but former Governor John Kasich and Jobs Ohio reached out to Fuyao's chairman in China and urged him, against great odds in 2014, to come have a look at GM Moraine.
And even his own son against it. So he said, well, I'm going to do it. And today, everything shows chairman made the right decision.
The initial plan was for 800 jobs here. Several years in, they're up to around 2,400. And each Fuyao job, they estimate, generates 3 jobs down the line. That's $120 million in taxable payroll.
Every property price, went up because Fuyao. We bring this really life again.
Fuyao's total investment here is now in the neighborhood of $600 million. And they're not done.
Chairman has the vision. He wants to invest another $1 billion in U.S. But depends on what kind of opportunity we're going to have.
Could it be in Moraine or possibly a place like Lordstown? Don't know. But the folks in Moraine believe Lordstown is in a much better position than they were 11 years ago.
It's never a good timing to lose a GM or any manufacturer of any size, But if it's going to happen, because of our current state and the fact of so many folks looking for about 200,000 square feet or above buildings, I think they'd be very successful in getting another tenant.
And that's been a push to GM by the Kosich and now DeWine administration and the folks at Jobs Ohio. Put another line in there, and if you're not going to, hand over the keys so we can find someone to fill the plant. With Democracy 2019, I'm John Kosich. Enjoy your Sunday.